pleasure to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Cache Creek this June 15th, 2026. The first matter on the agenda is notice on title hearing, and we'll proceed with that right now. The public hearing is called to order. The hearing is convened pursuant to section 57 of the Community Charter. The purpose of the hearing is to consider whether council should pass a resolution directing the corporate officer to file a notice on title at the Land Title and Survey Authority of BC regarding the property located at 1248 Quartz Road and 1248 Stage Road, Cache Creek. I'm John Randa, Mayor of the Village of Cache Creek. I'll be acting as chair of the hearing this evening. Before we proceed, are there any declarations of conflict of interest from members of council regarding the matter? Seeing none, I'll now ask Damien Couture, the CAO, to present information regarding the notice on title recommendation. CAO Couture, go ahead and proceed.
Good evening, everybody. To begin, many of you will recall that this property was significantly damaged during the 2023 flooding event that impacted the community. A do not occupy order was placed on the building at that time during fresh out of 2023, and following the damage, the property was sold. The current owner purchased the property and has undertaken renovation and construction work. On September 24th, 2024, our building inspector conducted a site visit and identified unpermitted construction. Specifically, a retaining wall was being constructed and suite renovations were occurring before performing the necessary building permits. A stop work order was issued that day, followed by an enforcement letter that came a few days after, on October 2nd, 2024. Despite this order being in place and repeated communications from staff, both here at the office and at the TNRD building department, work and occupancy has continued in contravention of the standing do not occupy order that has been in place since 2023. And on November 5th, 2025, the do not occupy order was reiterated and reposted on the building because it has been removed. From December 2025 through April 2026, staff engaged with the property owner in an attempt to obtain the proper permits necessary. The applications submitted were deemed insufficient. Site inspections on April 21st and April 28th revealed that construction continued even after the orders were reposted. The scope of work required included structural, electrical, plumbing, and fire-related components. They all require sealed documentation from registered professionals certifying compliance with the BC Building Code. To date, no acceptable permit application has been received, and the property owner has not complied with enforcement efforts over an extended period of time. Historic photographs document significant construction activity that appear to lack proper permitting and professional oversight during the course of the work. The building inspector has classified this as a major health and safety violation. Section 57 of the Community Charter authorizes council to file a notice on title when a property owner fails to comply with municipal orders and regulations. This notice will be visible to any future purchaser or lender conducting a title search and serves as a tool to encourage compliance. And so staff are recommending that council pass a resolution directing myself, the corporate officer, to file a notice on title with the LTSA.
Come in.
You are the property owner, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. You can have a seat right here. We're just in the middle of discussing things.
Hello, guys.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay, thank you, CAO Couture. Are there any questions from members of council regarding the staff presentation? Councillor Rancid.
Once this is in place, will it be able to be removed?
In the future, it would be able to be removed once the building is brought up to code. It would be a request after a building permit has been granted and completed. Then an application will be made to us to remove the notice on title.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Seeing none, pursuant to section 57(3) of the community charter, the property owner or authorized representative is entitled to be heard before any resolution is passed. Is the property owner or an authorized representative present? Hello. You're invited to address council. Please state your name, capacity, and present your submission.
Jaspinder Singh Malli, I'm the owner and director of the Paradise Exit Motel on the that property, Tumblebeat Motel. So my name is Jaspinder Singh Malli.
Do you have a presentation you wish to make to council?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So regarding any renovation, so when we gonna buy the property, then we came here and we talked, Mr. Damien too, like, hey, we gonna buy this property, there is any dispute, any problem? They said that there is no dispute, no problem, you guys can buy that property. After then we buy the property, then we meet in office too and talk like, hey, whatever the part is damaged, so there is a 2 and 3 part is a damage. The wall, we did not fix anything, so it's like still there, so city, they can inspect or whatever. So long story short, like we just done the work, just change the floor paint, we did not change any plumbing, there is everything is old. Regarding the permit, we start, first we have a 1 year BC stop order. After that, when we done after 1 year, in meantime we start apply the permit to the TNRD. TNRD said like, yeah, so we wanna visit the site. So that time there is a stop work order, we cannot do any inspection that time. As soon as we done the BC work done, so then April 23-25, so we did a meeting with Tony Bolton and Travis, the inspector there. So there's the email. So this is the meeting minutes, whatever he sent to us after the Tony. So whatever he required us, so we provide related to that. So they have some question regarding the retaining wall, what type, we need a survey, whatever they ask us, so we applied that one. So after then, so we have in over 7 conversation, another meeting, then we apply the permit. So they said they need a different permit, different engineer letters. After that, we provide that, this is the November 7 emails. So continue till now, so we have multiple meetings with the TNRD. Whatever they are providing us, then we are providing that one. Last email, so last time, so they said they wanna visit the site. So then I talked to the Travis inspector, then we set up that time, then we came from Vancouver to here and show all the rooms. After then, so there's a part of the building process, he said, first we have to go and take a look at the building. After then, I will give you the more instructions of what we needed. So he done the inspection. After then, he sent a letter us. So according to that, we submit the paperwork on the June 7th. So we provide a structural engineer letter. They visit the site. We provide the plumbing expert engineer letter. They said we need a expert for that. So we provide the schedule B for that. So for the electrical, we provide the schedule B for that. Engineers, they came here, they inspect everything. Then we provide schedules to the TNRD. So pretty much we provide all the documents, the expert engineers and the architect drawings, everything. So in meantime, so when he done the inspection, so we put then I emailed to the Damien as we previously discussed with Damien we want a business license. So the second story building, so there's upper rooms, there is no damage because flood is on the bottom floor. The rest room is 7 to 8 rooms, there is no damage. At least 10 to 12 rooms, we need a business license. So rest of whatever there is a problem, so we will do according to the guidelines, whatever the BC building code, right? So after that, I sent him email like the inspector already visited the site, each single room. So he has a report. So can you issue like, can we discuss anything, or you guys can walk through, or council can walk, whatever you guys have a requirement, we can do, we can fulfill that one. So we need a business license. Then I got a letter from Damien, like we have a council meeting and we wanna put anything on the title. So I don't know why we wanna put on the title, because when we are still, I have all the emails, I printed everything. So what is the conversation with the TNRD? So we are working on that. So he done the inspection, we provide our document, hopefully within a week or 2 weeks, we will get the permit. Depend like if they need any requirement or anything. Pretty much right now, they don't need any requirement, so they said they don't wanna inspect anything, so they need engineers for that. So they take the liability, so engineers, so they have to provide the Schedule B and the Schedule C, like they are taking responsibility, like everything according to the code, whatever we are changing. So here's the story right now. So we are working on it, hopefully maybe tomorrow Trip is coming here, so he has it running. Tomorrow we will get a response for the permit. And we wanna request you guys, like if we wanna start as soon as that portal, and for like whatever the rooms like affected, like 6 to 7 rooms. So we don't wanna open that one. So rest of the building where we did not change anything, house is the same, vanity is the same, toilet is the same, everything is as it is. So that one we wanna like open that one, because market is busy too. And if we run that one, so it's benefit for the council too, we pay property tax, all that kind of taxes too, right? So I request like we need a week, or we are working on it pretty much. So I don't know why we wanna put it like, if we are not acting anything, we are sleeping, we are not working on it, then if I got the email from village, then it makes sense, like you guys are not doing anything. So you wanna say something? Yeah, that's the story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions, then we can reply.
I was
We have
just
all
getting
the
to that.
proofs. Yeah, we have all proofs, yeah.
Are there any council members that have questions regarding the presentation from the property owner? Councilor Peters.
So through the chair, it's my understanding then that you're working towards compliance and you're asking us to delay anything like this until after the inspector has been here? The building inspector has been here, is that what I'm getting from what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we, like they said, when we applied, first they said we needed this document, or we applied that one, we provide that one. After they said, no, we needed this one, we provide that one. After they, no, we needed this, we said, okay. After that, I go there and set up a meeting like, hey, make sure we make a one-time list. After then they decide, oh, we wanna visit the site. We don't wanna accept the application. I said, that's fine. So as soon as we done the worksite BC, stop work order removed, so then we set up that time with the guy. So then they come on site, then we open all the rooms, they took all the pictures. I told them like, hey, if you have any question, you can ask me, then I can reply. So don't don't judge anything. So we open all the rooms, we did not hide anything. So now after the inspection report, I think so on, I think so June first week, I think so. No, May first week. Something there, yeah. So after then, after then we follow up like, hey, can you provide us a comment? After then he provide a comment. After 5 days, we submit an application. After 3-4 days, he reply us back, oh, I need this another thing. So we provide that one. So this time he didn't ask 2 and 3 more things. But we know they gonna ask us, we provide some extra engineers reports too, because we don't wanna delay anything. So we don't rush to. So that's my question, like when we are working continue from April 2025 till now, so we, as soon as we are working, when they ask anything, we provide on priority. So I don't know, so why we get this letter.
Are there any other questions from council to the property owners?
I
Councilor Ranta.
I would just like to ask the administrator if the timelines were accurately presented to the best of his knowledge.
That would be more of an opinion that I would probably put in my closing statement. Just in the sake of following the process of the state,
Okay.
yeah.
Councilor
So
Ranta?
just to confirm, what you're saying is that you only need 1 or 2 more weeks to comply with the building code?
Yeah, whatever they're asking, so we are providing them. Like they said, oh, we needed this letter, we providing that one. Like engineer's letter, they need it pretty much. Like electrical engineer, they said electrical engineer has to provide the Schedule B. He has to take all responsibility and he has to inspect everything. So we provide electrical, plumbing, architect, structure. And there is no mold, we already provide, there is a, Mr. Damien has that letters too, WorkSafe BC. So whatever we provide there, so he has a Mr. Damien too. So WorkSafe BC, there's no asbestos, we remove all the asbestos. There is no mold, so we provide that one report too. We have it in copy too. So there's no like any kind of like a health risk there. So we wanna run the mold, so we don't wanna make any bad reputation there, like there is a mold or something like that.
So I'm just gonna add to your question there. So this is in the building process phase. After the building permit is issued, they'll do inspection, and if everything's fine, they'll give us a occupancy permit pretty much for the building.
So,
Councilor Ranta.
so what I'm hearing is that you're requesting, obviously, that we don't pass this motion tonight because you need a little bit more time.
This was a surprise to us anyways, because we didn't even know this was in the works. Like, we were just slapped with a letter on our desk with no timeline or deadline.
I think that's how the process works, but I mean, me neither, so it's on the agenda and that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pretty much like this is type of motion is brings that time. So when the owners they don't want to work with the village of Cache Creek, any city or any TNRD, right? So we are working them. We were working on it. So we have all the dated emails back and forth. We have a list of documentation. I don't know this motion why we need it. So this motion always need when we are not operating anything. So this is a village of Cache Creek, they have a cost too. So this is a little bit harder time for us, but not that much, but still there is no need for this motion. So that's the big question.
Can you give us an idea of when you think the property will be inspected and approved for occupancy? Is there a timeline for that?
So this is in hand of TNRD or Mr. Damien. Just today, I again came here and submitted the document there. So Mr. Inspector Trevius, he said, I have written email. He said, I asked him like, I am coming Monday to drop off rest of paperwork. He said, it's not mandatory, I have to be here. You can submit anyone. So when I go there, so then I talk to the clerk, what's his name there? Carla. So
Yeah.
I talked to the Carla, I said, Carla, I wanna submit. She said, you have everything according to the list? I said, everything. She said, everything? I said, everything. She's smiling and say, okay, just I have to deal with this guy, then I come. After Tony Burton came there, he's a senior sales boss.
Yeah.
So then he said, no, we are not accepting application, you just leave there. Tony Burton, Travis will come tomorrow and he will take it up.
Yeah.
Then I show him email, like I already asked him. So this is his email, Travis. So then he said, I told you what I want. Forget what the Travis said. So just leave the application there. He will take a look tomorrow. I don't have a time.
Yeah.
So now he will take a look tomorrow. After then it's come to the team. So they wanna discuss both. After then they wanna tell us like if they need any more paperwork or no.
Pretty much it's up to TNRD.
Right, yeah, well, we contract with the
Yeah,
DNR
yeah.
for building.
It's not up
inspection
to us now,
services.
yeah, it's up to them.
So whatever they ask, we check, check mark all the boxes
Yeah.
and submit everything. So tomorrow if they said we need something this, if according to the BC building code we will provide, so yeah, whatever.
Are there any other questions from council, to the property owners?
We thought like this village of Cache Creek, they promote business, they help, but when we get this type of notice, then we feel something different. I think so they don't want like a business.
Yeah, Councillor Peters.
Yeah, I think you're correct. We do support business, but we also have to provide due diligence to the rest of the community. And there is obviously quite a trail right from 2024 to date. Travis's letter is dated May the 13th, so you know, if perhaps things have changed or will be changing for that, that may be something to consider. But this has been an ongoing issue with work being done, that while there was a stop work order, like there's a lot of things that we have to protect ourselves with and for. And that's part of why the notice on title was suggested, is to protect the village. And so, you know, I'd be curious to see what happens with the next inspection, if the documents have been filed as they should be.
So I wanna just a little bit like add like previously there is an inspector said DA. I said so DA, right? So first time he came there, so he just came there like we are taking stuff out and removing the dirt backside of the. So then he said like you need a permit for the retaining wall. I said okay, that's fine. We can make it 4 feet by 4 feet. Then we don't need a permit. He said that's fine. You can do the way. Otherwise you apply the permit. After then he put the stop work, then I said, this stop work for what? We are not constructing anything. So he said, this is the stop work just for room number 12 or 14, because there is a floor is damaged. Whole property, there is a never stop work order. So there is a day he did that stop work order. There is only stop work for the room number 12 and 14 and the retaining wall. After then he moved some another department, so now Travis come. After then Travis come, then I told him, Tony Porter and this guy like, hey, there is a never stop work whole property. There is a only stop work for the room number 12 and 14. Maybe I have a picture I can find that one when for the stop work there is a mention. After then I got this type letter again from the Davies. So then I told him like, hey, why you sending this letter for what? So he said, there's a process, we are just sent the letter, we are not doing any action because stop work is on 12 and 14. Maybe must be more, no, I don't know. So that's the like a backstory. There is a never been stop work whole property, but in this today, so according to Mr. Travis, there is a whole building is a stop work party.
Thank you. Any further questions from council? Seeing none, I'm to ask for public input. Is there anyone present who wishes to address council regarding this matter?
I believe what they're asking for is more time. No?
It's a hearing, so you have to give your name.
Oh, Annette Pittman. I believe what they're asking for is more time.
Thank you. Any other public input? Seeing none, I'll make 3 final calls before I declare the hearing closed. I'll call 3 times for any further representations in this matter. For the first time, is there anyone who wishes to speak to make any further submissions? For the second time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further submissions? For the third and final time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further submissions? Seeing none, are there any final comments from the CAO?
Yes, I have a few comments. it's a challenging situation. We've been working on this file for over a year, directing towards completing a permit. That's the goal of staff. In order to do anything, we need to see a permit. A do not occupy means you cannot be in any structure on the property. That's what it means, and a stop work applies to the whole property. There isn't a specification over one spot or the other. Both of those have to do with the whole property. Continuously, we've communicated that. Work continues. A permit has to be applied for. There's a lot of environmental or health concerns. Mold was observed in the site. We need to know that remediation was in place. Depending on the scale of the renovation, determines what level of remediation, like what level of permit needs to be done. It's a very complex process that needs technical professionals to weigh in on many points in this. Instead, work was started and completed without any of that being put forward to us for a proper permit. Hence why it is here. There's been many attempts to communicate information, both from Tony, myself, through many email chains of what needs to happen, and it all starts with a permit first. The fact that we only started receiving a permit in hand when we start sending letters about a notice on title, I think says something. And it's incredibly challenging because that's like, from a staff perspective, that is our only tool that we can bring forward as a recommendation to council. Because at the end of the day, if the village is aware of building infractions occurring, which is the case, there's building occurring in the community in a place that has a do not occupy and a stop work order. So if we're aware of those things, a notice on title is the methodology that we have to say that we are aware of those things. After such time that a permit is applied for, successfully granted, and completed, all of those things then go away. That's when the do not occupy can be removed. That's when the stop work order can be removed. That's when the notice and title, if council so chooses to go forward with it, would be able to be removed. The process of getting the permit to build includes the ability to occupy the building for the purpose of construction, to allow workers to enter the site, and thus the stop work order is removed. That is the purpose of those tools. They go and, like, that's what a stop work order is for. Things are happening, we're aware of it, stop. Talk to us, fill out the paperwork. And yet we continue to see these things. My report didn't even touch on the occupation of the building when we were seeing people there consistently on the site, going into the rooms and using them. And that's not even talking about like the homeless situations that were in the past, those were dealt with. But like for the past few months, there's been people going in and utilizing the space. So it's incredibly challenging, this situation. Even today, Tony Bolton reached out to me after information was submitted, just to let me know, and he said to me, so you are aware, the building permit process, well, it is still part of the notice on title, like it's all part and parcel, it's all in the same file, but they are two separate things. A building permit being submitted does not change a single thing for a notice on title proceeding. The information is still there until such time that the work is completed and the occupancy permit is granted. So that is all that staff have to say.
Thank you. Now, if the property owner or authorized representative is present, do you have any final comments before I declare the hearing closed? Yes, sir.
Okay, so first of all, they talk about the mold. There is
Yes.
for safety wise. So Mr. Damien has already reports from WorkSafe PC. So they order us remove all the mold. After then the inspector, so they have a clearance letter for that already. okay? So when we last time submitted the application, that fully packaged, Mr. Damien, he has it. So work done without permit. So we did not done any work without permit, only we just do the paint. Anybody, if which one he report sent to us, you guys can check the report. I can go page by page or picture by picture. There is a old tubs. So there is a old toilet seats, old vanities. We just change the floor and paint. And Mr. Damien know that too, because we came here, discussed in the office. 2 walls damaged on the second building back side. You guys can see, anybody can take in the pictures too, like there is no drywall, no backside cladding, nothing. Room number 12 and 14, there is a floor dress is damaged, there is no drywall, nothing is moved as it is. They just as a floor because we don't want anything structure damage. That's the structure engineer's recommendation. There is no drywall, room is not ready, nothing there, as is as there. Room number 15 or 16, there is a middle wall. When the flood was, is damaged. We just constructed a stud because we don't want any structure came down. There is no drywall, nothing is like an empty wall. Anybody can come and take a look. Inspector already take a look at that one. Structure engineer already take a look. He gave us the letter and schedule CB2. Structure is a fully supported, there is no problem. Mr. Damien has that letter in the they sent to him like a month ago. Mold, they have a letter clearance, work done, we did not done anything without permit, still we need inspections. After then we gonna put the drywall. Application started, Mr. Damien said like after this letter they start the work. Application started in 5 April 2025. 1 year there is a stop work order with the work state DC. So we cannot do that kind of thing. After, as soon as it's finished, we start 5 April 2025 after that. So sometimes I call Mr. Mir too. So I talk Mr. Damien too. So we need if there is any problem, we always discuss with you guys. It started 1 year ago, over 1 year ago. I don't know how come Mr. Damien said when we send letter after then. Living on property, there is no one living on the property only. So there is one guy. So previously there is a homeless people. They go there, they damage multiple times. I got email Mr. Damien and I multiple times got from the RCMP. So they said it could be fire or anything. Then you guys have to be prevent this one. Mr. Damien sent me the email. After then I reply him email. Can you check email the date and time? So I sent him reply emails. We did not rent anything. So there is one guy, there is a RBC bank, there is a staying there in the car. Then I talked to them hey, can you park your car there? We will pay you whatever you want, 200-300, and we will put the internet there, so you can use the Wi-Fi internet there. So that guy always come nighttime there. So after that, there is no homeless people, no damage, anything. This one already Mr. Damien when he sent us the email, we reply him. After that, he did not say anything. Whatever I reply him, right? So this is the only conversation today. So this is the 4 point he raised here, but he has all answers.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Seeing none, I'll now close the evidence gathering portion of this proceeding. Council will now move to deliberation on this matter. No further evidence or submissions will be received. We'll now proceed to council deliberation regarding this matter. Members of council may request clarification from staff if needed. However, no new evidence will be received at this stage. I'll now call for a motion from council. CAO Couture, is there any urgency in putting this section 57 in place today, or could it be delayed for a couple of weeks?
If you delay, it's tough to say. Urgency is really, it would be an opinion more than anything else. In terms of a specific hard deadline, there isn't one. The biggest thing, it is the legal instrument that the village uses to demonstrate
I
that we are
understand.
aware of the issue.
I understand.
So if there was a change in status of the property between now and then, it opens us up to legal liability because we did not formally declare that we were aware of it.
On the issue of mold, did you receive a letter from the owners related to the mold issue?
I have not received anything to do with mold personally. Maybe something went to the building department, but I cannot speak to myself. I haven't seen something.
Thank you.
And Mayor Van?
Yes,
Just to clarify on that specific, like on mold specifically, a big thing with all of that goes back to being in the structure in a do not occupy in a stop work environment. So,
yeah. I guess what I'm understanding from the property owners is they did mitigate the mold issue and presumably they, as they say, sent a letter to the village, I presume, not to the building inspector, related to the mold. And, you know, I guess I'm not feeling as if there's urgency in putting a section 57 on the property at this particular meeting. I think there's an opportunity to delay that until the next meeting. It sounds as if they are expecting to see the building inspector tomorrow. And if that's the case, they can get their ducks in a row, hopefully, and we would be able to reconsider the imposition of a section 57 at the next meeting. So that would be my preference. I appreciate the fact that we have new owners of the property. They've been working to try to resurrect the property so that it's an actual motel that people can stay at and spend money in Cache Creek. I think that's a good thing. And whatever we can do to help the property owners in achieving that, I'm happy to do. So we do have a recommendation on the agenda that we file notice on title, but I'm certainly not going to move that. I think I would move that the consideration of a section 57 on the Paradise Hickson Motel Limited be deferred to the next council meeting, and I so move. Second for discussion. Any discussion? Councillor Peters.
I think to reiterate what CEO Couture, I'm torn on this one because I do feel that supportive business is important. My only concern is the fact, and perhaps the owners and the building inspector could tomorrow have a discussion on what a stop work order and what a do not occupy order actually entails. It sounds to me like there's a bit of misunderstanding between the two parties on what those two things are. Because I understand CEO Couture's concerns with delaying if something was to go awry. But I think a good interpretation of stop work order and do not occupy would help both the building owners and the village. From what I'm hearing today is that they believed it only pertained to a certain part of the building, whereas CEO Couture's opinion is that it involved the whole property, which I believe it does when a stop work order goes on and do not occupy, because we've unfortunately had them in the past with flooding. So I would support delaying it for one meeting, but I think at that time, knowing that this notice on title can be temporary once things are brought to code and permits are issued and completed, and the do not occupy order is removed, then this notice on title can also be removed. So.
Thank you. I think it costs money to remove the notice on title, and that's what I'm trying to help them avoid, is spending a bunch of money to avoid, or to eliminate the section 57 on title. And so I'm thinking that for the time it takes, why don't we delay the potential imposition of a section 57 until the next meeting, which is what the motion identified. Any further discussion? Councillor Ranta?
I think that 2 weeks is reasonable for the council to, provide an extra 2 weeks after all the time that's gone along. It seems that there's been some missteps occurred, and I'm not gonna lay blame on how that all happened. It looks very clearly laid out in the communication on the agenda from the TNID, what needs to occur. And, I'm sure everyone on the council wants to see, I mean, we're grateful that the place looked better. We're grateful that, somebody is caring enough to make changes so that, we don't have like the public eyesore that we had after the flood. I feel badly that it seems that there's been a little bit of extra staff time taken up with the, handling certain things that have gone on, and, we just want everybody to be safe. My question is to staff.
Councillor Ranta?
You mentioned something about a, kind of a change that would create more liability for the village in an extension. How does that work? Tell me about that, and what risks are we putting the village in if we were to give 2 weeks extension?
It's actually 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 weeks.
The next meeting is July the 6th.
The biggest one is if the property was to sell or change ownership. It could be seen that the village didn't do its due diligence in notifying, because we have a duty to notify when a building isn't meeting code compliance or following the proper permitting procedure. So in the event that something like that was to happen, theoretically the new owner could come after us and charge us civilly because we did not do that. That's the biggest one. There's a bunch of other little ones, but that's the most common one.
Are you planning to sell the property anytime soon?
No way.
Well, there you go.
I can answer to Mr. Demey if you guys allow me.
I think the time for input is over. I'm sorry. Any other questions for the administrator related to this? We've got a motion on the floor. Any further discussion on the motion? On the motion, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. So obviously we have passed a motion to delay the imposition of a section 57 on the property potentially until the next council meeting, which is July the 6th, 26. And hopefully your dealing with the TNRD Building Inspection Department will result in what the administration needs in order to proceed with removal of the do not occupy and those sorts of things.
Sure, Mr. Mayor.
Administrator Couture.
Just one note for everyone. When deferring a decision in a hearing, we have to do the hearing in its entirety again, so there'll be another opportunity for everyone to speak and that sort of thing. Just so everyone in the room is aware of what the process is.
Thank
So it would
you.
be an identical version of what happened today with another opportunity.
Thank you. So I now declare the hearing closed. The hearing is closed at whatever time it is, 6:46. No, it's probably 6:45. Is that
6:44.
That one's fast by 2 minutes. We'll take a brief recess and reconvene in regular meeting momentarily.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, just trying to get along, buddy. So, the record will be in the minutes, and you've got the, motion that was passed. Okay, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Holy Lord, Dinah. You're up next, buddy.
Yep.
You're welcome to sit in the hot seat.
Hey,
Every now in Russian.
I didn't know about the county. Right? Yeah. Yep, you'll let me listen to the next delegation. So it's good. Good luck, guys. All right, you guys have a good evening, man.
So is Dave down watching soccer?
No, he's in Zurich.
Okay.
I think he did watch Zurich today, but I forget who it was.
Is he gonna go to any of the games?
I don't think so.
No.
No, he didn't get
delegation, Dr. Ashish Suri, a veterinarian, to present regarding the commercial property taxes. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and public. So yes, this is my first delegation, or first time I own a business, and first time I'm chatting in front of this council. So the reason for me here today is to request if it is possible to reduce the property taxes for the clinic. The reasons why I'm requesting that particular request is that because there are a couple of challenges running a veterinary clinic in a rural practice, not only in BC, all over Canada, as you might have heard in the news. I graduated from Saskatchewan and I lived there for a good decade, and over there the province itself was trying to promote the veterinary clinics in the rural communities. And the rural communities itself, they were trying to attract the veterinary businesses in a number of different ways. I'm not sure if it was more with the property taxes, but I'm pretty sure they were like providing grants over there in that area to help them build the clinics and everything over there. I'm not sure how it works in British Columbia, but that was my understanding. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. But on the other aspect, when I was comparing the property taxes from last year to this year, maybe the numbers will be a little off, but my understanding was that the property taxes went up by almost 8%. It was about $10,500 for the building which the clinic currently owns, and this year the invoice which I received, I think it was about $11,400. So yeah, and then the other problem which I'm facing running the clinic is attracting educated professional staff in this area. I can't find a registered veterinary nurse. I've been trying to reach out the Kamloops Vet Tech School. I have applied, I have made a paid subscription to put an ad for the clinic over there. I've been trying to offer them higher wages and multiple different things, but looks like people don't want to come to the rural community. So yeah, that is why I'm here. I don't know if this is the right way to approach it, or is there any other way in which the council can help me to attract more educated staff to the clinic so that we can provide more quality services to the community. So yeah, that is in brief my request to the council.
Thank you. Does council have any questions for the delegation? Seeing none, you may be aware there are 9 distinct property tax classes in every municipality in the province, 9. And when you set tax rates, the tax rate has to be applied equally to all the properties in that tax class. So it's not possible for council to say, okay, we'll give the vet clinic a break on taxes, because whatever we do would have to apply equally to all businesses.
Right.
And that would be a significant loss in tax revenue for the village, which would result in either residential taxes going up or other property taxes going up in order to balance the budget, which we're required to do by provincial legislation. So I think your idea that perhaps there could be a break given to on property taxes for the vet clinic is not a realistic one. We don't have the ability to do that unless we did it for every business in the community. And part of the reason I suggested you come and present to council, maybe council members have another thought or idea of how we might make it more attractive or easier for you to carry on business in the village of Cache Creek. We definitely appreciate the fact that we've got a vet clinic in the community. My wife and I have used it in the past. And there's certainly a great value in having a vet clinic in the village of Cache Creek. I don't know how I would approach the attraction of qualified people, except possibly to write a letter to the university or something where people graduate in veterinary medicine. That might be an option that we could consider, but other than that, I don't know. We can't lower the property taxes for one particular component of a property class. And I don't know if council has some other idea about how we might be able to make it more palatable for you to remain in business in Cache Creek. Councillor Ranta.
Well, just regarding the second part of your presentation, which was about training and needing staff and that sort of thing. There's several organizations in the local area that operate and have connections with other training programs and other post-secondary institutions. The school district has post-secondary connections for students, and sometimes develops locally approved training programs for students, or will sponsor a student to attend one based on what their interest is. The other thing is the local First Nations bands often partner with other institutions. I'm thinking of one in Merritt that they've offered early childhood education programs and things like that. Heavy equipment operator program, and provided that training at no or low cost in order to help residents in the local area get a good job at the end. So I know that this might not be the best place to talk about all the details, but maybe you can give me an email. I would be happy to connect you with some people. I mean, I know you're in a business model that's a for-profit business model, but I mean, the worst case scenario, or maybe an option that hasn't been thought of before, is turning doing a non-profit business model where it's an organization that you're working for, and that the organization is actually a non-profit society that's running the vet clinic, and it would require a gigantic change in every structure that you've got going. However, I do know of a medical model in Kamloops that has a collective of professionals operating, like for example, the physicians, but that also runs nonprofit society parallel to the office, where the nonprofit society is able to get grants and offer programming so that it balances, it complements the private practice, which is a for-profit private practice with multiple practitioners. At the same time, the nonprofit is able to get grants, able to have some staffing, able to provide services, and because when I read your letter, your concerns for the seniors, particularly low-income people with pets that need help, I wonder if that isn't a model that would be beneficial here. Anyway, just throwing some ideas out there, but
no.
Councillor Ranta is also a school trustee for the school district locally.
Yes.
So I think it might be prudent to
Definitely.
exchange contact information.
No, definitely.
Maybe there's something that Councillor Ranta can do through the school district in order to identify a student that might be willing to take veterinary medicine, or at least whatever's necessary in order to become an assistant at the vet clinic.
Right, no, that definitely helps, because right now we are just training the local population, training them to help us with the surgeries and teaching them all the basics which are required to do monitoring on the animal. but at the end of the day, then everything is still on my shoulder, that I can't take my eye off the animal. Even if the person is trained enough, unless I have a registered personnel on board who is set for a particular animal to monitor the animal while they are recovering. So those sort of limitations then limit the number of patients we can see, and then it definitely adds to the burnout and all those things in top of that. So yeah, that was my biggest concern, but I would love to explore more of the physician model, which the council member mentioned regarding the physicians coming together and then they have a non-profit organization on the side. Yeah, it depends like what is the feasibility in this area regarding that sort of a model. Yeah.
Councillor Peters.
Also, I'm not sure if you've spoken with Community Futures in Ashcroft.
No,
They might have some programs that might help you as well.
Community futures.
Yeah.
Great.
Just go in and see.
Administrator Cooksher.
I feel like recently I saw something about this kind of issue at a provincial level, and I feel like I read some sort of memorandum or something to that effect just recently that the province has some sort of a program, or they're starting a program for like rural animal care.
They did, yeah. So yeah, in that one, what they're doing is they had a limited number of spots for mixed animal veterinarians. So they said that they are going to take off a part of their annual registration fee for those veterinarians who can show them that they are going to the rural mixed animal clinics and working for a specific number of hours over there on those practices. So I agree they are trying to attract, but I'm not aware if they are doing anything different for the practices itself. Yeah. No, thanks for listening to me.
Well, thank you for coming. You're a valuable service in the community and we very much appreciate it. Are there any other questions or comments for the delegation? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any business arising from the delegation? Seeing none, we have the minutes of the June 1st regular council meeting. Could I have a motion to adopt as circulated?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Committee reports, economic development, Councillor Diebert.
Nothing new at this time.
Oh, there's something on the agenda.
Our graffiti days, sorry. Council to discuss planning and budget for the graffiti days family dance.
Yeah, the recommendation is the council agree to organize and run the Graffiti Days family dance and that $1,000 be budgeted for the event.
And we'll do this again.
You're gonna move that?
I'll move that.
Second.
Any discussion? Are you gonna organize the family dance again?
I will not be here.
Oh, you won't be here?
I'm off from the end of August till the midnight. We get back in midnight, the day of graffiti days, so I can help with pre-stuff, but someone else will have to take it on.
Thank you. Councillor Ranta.
Well, I'm sure that we can rally together.
Sounds like Councillor Ranta is gonna organize it herself.
I have lots of information that I can share.
Okay,
I have a
well,
binder actually.
I think we should pass a motion, and then if we realize that somehow we won't be able to do it, we can always,
We'll get it done.
You guys can get it done. I have all the faith in you.
Okay, on the motion, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Budget and Administrative Services. There's a recommendation that council permit the Ashcroft District Hospice Society to place a wind phone at the Cache Creek Cemetery with the agreement that the structure be designed, constructed, and maintained by the Hospice Society as approved by the village administration. That's the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Councillor Ranta.
I was at the installation event that the Hospice Society had for the one in Ashcroft, and it's it's a researched grief, intervention that has been known to provide, individuals with, relief from grief and loss. However, I know that our cemetery is unique in that it was very well designed and it has a unique, like architectural design schema that I would be, I think it would be too bad to shift it to the types of structures that I saw in the pictures, in the agenda. So I'm just not sure that it would be possible to kind of coordinate or mirror the existing architectural elements that are in the cemetery the way it is right now, because it's all been done in like this black metal, it's all concrete, it's high quality materials, it's mostly low maintenance. I think putting like, for instance, the type of structure that went in the Ashcroft Cemetery, it just wouldn't coordinate with the vibe that our cemetery has. So I'm just wanting to think of a way that we could agree to having it, because I do think it's a good thing and wonderful that they want to do it. However, how are we going to ensure that it fits into our cemetery design that we've spent lots and lots of money to put in, and that I really, really like, and I don't want to sort of change it too much. Like, it's so nice the way it is, and I just think it's very serene and peaceful. There's been a lot of design put into it by professionals, and I would like to keep it that way. And then knowing how quickly our weather deteriorates wooden structures that are left outside, and they just, like, I think of our gazebo at the park, I think of the, you know, how difficult it is to maintain a wooden structure with our water, hardness that kind of attaches onto fences, and it just, I'm just concerned about the ability of the Hospice Society to really install something that would be low maintenance and coordinate with what we already have in our cemetery. But I do support the motion. I don't know, does anybody think we need an amendment to that, or is that something we can just have administration mention?
Not seeing any hands up. I guess further discussion. None of you will be aware that I've lost a mother and a father and two brothers and a sister, and talking on a phone that isn't connected to anything isn't going to help me one little bit. And so I don't support the installation of a wind phone. I understand it may help some people who are happy to talk to nobody, to a phone that's not connected to anything. I just don't think the village of Cache Creek is the right place to have something like that. So I'll be voting against the motion. Councillor Peters.
Well, I respectfully disagree. I think having a place, I also have lost a number of people in my life, and having a place where I know that I have gone, my parents have a plaque in the Kamloops Cemetery, and I often go sit on the bench in front of that and just sit with them for a while. So having a place that's welcoming and safe and non-judgmental, that someone can just go and be close to the person in whatever way they feel that closeness is very important in the grieving process.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Well, I would just like to point out to Mayor Ranta that there's research and scientific research behind this. It's not just a wingnut idea or a wacky idea. research to show that this is effective for people, the people that would choose to use it. So I think that, we have to go with the science, actually.
Thank you. On the motion, any further discussion? Yeah,
If we do go forwards with this, I'd just like to see that it's something that's gonna go with what's already existing, instead of, like Carmen said, a wooden shell of any sort.
Yeah.
It's deteriorating, so stone would be a better material.
I believe our hospice society here is very, open to those discussions, and I trust the CEO Couture and the proponents of the phone and have those discussions.
thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to bylaw and policy review, Councillor Ranta.
Okay, so, we have a motion that council adopt the revised policy F-3, complaints and bylaw enforcement as presented. I move.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Item 2, that council give final consideration to and adopt bylaw number 1-001, 2026 procedure bylaw amendment.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Item 3, the council give final consideration to and adopt bylaw number 6-010, 2026 zoning and development of real property within Village of Cache Creek as presented. So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Councillor
I'd
Ranta?
just like to point out that we've had a lot of discussion on this one. It's been, a couple of years in development, and, I don't think the committee has really anything new to mention on this one. Would you like to maybe, say any words about it? Dean?
I don't think anything further than what's already been said, except that it's been really nice to work on the zoning bylaw. It's a very, very old document, so to be a part of it's been really interesting, and I think it's, looking at it from my perspective, there's been a lot of input that has been put into this from staff, council, and the public. So I think that it really encapsulates a lot of the learnings that we've had since 1984 when it was written initially. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
And then the really big OCP, the council give final consideration to and adopt bylaw number 6-011, 2026 official community plan for the Village of Cache Creek.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. So that's, in the last two motions, 177 pages that we may not have to deal with the next time the agenda comes out.
Yeah, and just before we move on,
Yes, Councillor
I'd
Ranta?
just like to thank so much the staff. We also had, some, others from outside the organization helping with these two big, the last two, items. And just want to say how it's come a long way, and I think we should be really proud of this work. It's taken a long time, at a time when the village was also distracted from flood recovery. And just want to say thank you, because it's really great that we got to them, even with all of the rest of what we've been dealing with this term.
Thank you. Public Works, Councillor Liebert.
Definitely nothing to report.
Thank you. Healthcare and Protective Services, Councillor Ranta.
The council, I so move that council approve a donation of $100 to Community Safety Net for the production of fire safety books used by the fire department during fire safety week.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Emergency Management, Councillor Peters.
Nothing at this time.
Parks and Recreation, Councillor Ranta. Landfill Advisory Committee, I have nothing on that. TNRD and Intergovernmental Liaison, I would move that council receive and file the TNRD Emergency Program Update.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Cache Creek Community Fund, Councilor Manta.
Nothing new.
Staff reports, I think we've got, joint bylaw ticket collection agency request for proposals and authorization.
I move that council authorize the chief administration officer to lead a joint request for proposals for process on behalf of the village of Cache Creek, Ashcroft and Clinton for the engagement of a debt collection agency for unpaid bylaw fines, and that the CAO in consultation with the CAOs of Ashcroft and Clinton select the successful vendor under delegated authority and inform council of decision, and that council directs staff to formally invite the villages of Ashcroft and Clinton to participate in the joint RFP process by way of a letter to those administrations, and that council direct the CAO to work with the CAOs of Ashcroft and Clinton to develop a joint bylaw fine referral policy for adoption by each municipality prior to the operationalizing, oh, that was a big one, the collection service.
Second.
Discussion? All those, oh, did you want to discuss it, administrators, co-chair?
I do want to discuss it.
I don't want to discuss it.
I just want to provide a little bit of context and over and above the actual report itself. This specifically, the village of Cache Creek specifically has a decent amount of unpaid fines. It's not like in thousands upon thousands of dollars, but there's a few people that we're at the point with by law enforcement that if we don't go to the next level, why are we doing it, is almost the way to say it. And so this gives us the tools, and we felt that working with the other two municipalities is the best way to do it, because we share by law enforcement, so it makes it a lot easier if we all follow the same process. And in a general sense, myself and my two colleagues in the other communities agree, and this was the best way to kind of formalize the start of it. We would be the ones spearheading the process, then we would invite the other two to join, and then myself and my two CAO colleagues would figure out the best process and ask the same of their councils to say, hey, here's what we recommend. Do you think that this is okay? We're not envisioning that this is going to be some giant contract for tens of thousands of dollars each year or anything like that. We're expecting that the request for proposals is going to be to the tune of us saying, like, collectively between the three of us, between like $2,000 and $10,000 on a crazy year for all three of us amalgamated. So it's really hard to say what we're going to get, but we know that places exist that do say like an 80-20 situation where we don't pay anything up front to refer the fine to them, we get 80% back, they get 20. And a bunch of other different methodologies. So just felt that it was a good next step, and then that should finally complete the whole by law enforcement process so that we have something besides just like taking them to court, which in a lot of cases isn't appropriate. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the vote again? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. On to information correspondence. Oh, Councilor Ranta.
I'm just gonna pull out one item here and talk about it, item 6. So the school district, I'm really excited to let everybody know that the school district is initiating having 2 student trustees. Our board was really fortunate in the last election that we had the youngest school trustee in British Columbia elected to our board during that term. He served he actually won in a by-election, not in 2018, but we've had a committee for a number of months look into different models of student trustees. Some provinces actually require having student trustees on the board. The student trustee would participate in open meetings, and we have 2 that will be coming in shortly here, and their names are in the news release. So we're really excited to do this. We believe that student voice is growing in importance, and the connection between students and their education is how we're going to help shift our success rates. We do also believe that the students' communication back to their own colleagues in schools, of their fellow students in their different communities, will be a way of strengthening the flow of communication from the board out as well. So yeah, anyway, we're really excited about it.
Thank you. We have 7 pieces of incoming correspondence and none of outgoing correspondence. I would move that we receive and file the items in information correspondence.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Is there any new business? Seeing none, are there any questions from the public?
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Pittman.
Under the economic development for the Graffiti Days family dance, the $1,000 budgeted for the event, can that not come out of the Cache Creek Community Fund instead of the taxpayers' pocket?
It can come from wherever staff decides to take it.
Because there is the community fund there that's available for that.
Thank you.
The next one is in regards to the bylaw questions. How much is outstanding in the fines for our community, roughly?
I shouldn't say, just because it's to the tune of a few $1,000s, like I can't get more specific than that.
$2,000.
Ish, a few thousand, more than 1, less than 5.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, would the cost justify the expenditures on something like that? Because you were saying it would cost between $2,000 and $10,000.
No, that wouldn't be a yearly cost to us. That is the anticipated total amount of tickets that the 3 communities collectively would pass along to a collector. So the idea with the program is that after, like, there's administrative costs to get to the point of having an agreement in place, but after that agreement is in place, the idea is if we have somebody that's gone past a certain deadline, policy to be determined, as said in the recommendation, a certain deadline would occur, the bylaw enforcement officer then would refer that, say, $200 ticket to this collection agency that we've selected. Based on the wording there and the discussions we've had thus far, there's a few collection agencies that deal with bylaw enforcement that specifically there's no upfront cost to the municipality. The example being just an example of the 80-20, it's hard to say, I have no idea what they're gonna come back to us with. It could be completely different numbers. But let's just say, using 80-20 as an example, we would pay nothing to give them that $200 ticket. And then if they're successful in collecting that, they would give us 80% of that, and they would keep 20% of that. So we'd effectively be collecting 80% more than we did by just sitting there and letting nothing happen. The big difference by working with a collection agency is they're able to register that against somebody's credit, which actually has an impact against somebody. One of the flaws to a system that doesn't have a collection agency is those fines, if they just go unpaid, there's no recourse against that. They just remain unpaid. And so we just have a stack of tickets that are not paid and we can do nothing about. But that actually gives some sort of a recourse, and most places have a pretty good success rate from what I hear.
Yeah, I have enough confidence in the administrators of Clinton and Ashcroft as well as Cache Creek that if it's a losing proposition to enter into this sort of situation, that they would not do it.
So there would be shared costs then through the 3 communities, it wouldn't be just.
Well, it would be like our, there's no cost to administrate the program with the exception of actually starting the agreement itself. And like, there isn't like a fee to sign the contract or anything. It's just, the time that it takes the three of us to find and select somebody would be the only expense. And then beyond that, we would give them the tickets and we would receive money back when they collect. If they ever collect, maybe they don't, but, yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Seeing none, questions from the press?
Nothing today.
Thank you very kindly. We have need of a closed session pursuant to section 90.1 and 90.2 of the community charter. Could I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Brief break and we'll come back in closed session.